Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are having a nice Sunday evening. So, yeah, we didn't get to do any sort of game development stuff yesterday for my first game jam, but I was doing some thinking about how I would implement some of the other features, and hopefully we can make some good progress tonight with actual programming in Unity. So yeah, I've got Unity out, and I will just basically see how far we get tonight. I kind of have like a basic idea of where I want everything to, where I want everything to go, how I want it to roll, and that's just kind of from last time on Friday. So last time, and let me pull this up real quick. Where is it? Okay. Yeah, so there it is. Okay, so last time we came up with like a good idea for the the gameplay that we wanted, and I just kind of went into a bunch of details with that, but kind of better in the long run probably. And we also had something like this, where we basically did a bunch of the planning stuff and what direction we wanted to go in, and an idea of how we want that screen to kind of look once everything's said and done. So I think that's kind of, there's gonna be some changes obviously as time goes on, and some things will work better than others. But I'm pretty excited because who wouldn't want to play a game where you're washing dishes? So, okay. So anyways, we are going to try to get as far as we can building things from scratch in Unity, which should be fun. So yeah, let's see what we can do here. So, I guess the first thing we should really decide is what we want to try and implement first. So, and let me actually kind of move things around a little bit. Yeah, okay. So if we're trying to work through this, and that, okay, I think I'll just leave that up there for now. I really like to do like desktop capture, but for some reason Streamlabs wasn't working quite right with it last time I tried it, so we're just gonna go with this for now and see how things pan out. And it's just gonna be like a temporary thing for the moment, but actually maybe I can center this a little bit, make it a little bit more pleasing to the eye. I don't know. Or actually, you know what I can do? Before I forget, maybe we can move this. Oops, not that. I just want to make sure things look a little nicer. Yeah, okay, that kind of works, I guess, for now. So we'll put that over there, and yeah, so basically all I did with Unity is just, start it up and made a new project, and that was it. So everything else we have to kind of do from scratch. So we want to start things off by making a scene. but you know, in Unity, not in real life. So it looks like we already have a scene here. So let's maybe just rename that to be, what do we want to call it? Well, let's just call it Stage 1. Okay, and we're going to try and get as much of this as we can today. I guess the first thing would be, what part do we want to start off with? Because we have, so the clock's probably not really important now. The main things we want to try and get ready are like the menu system, and making sure you can track your mouse with a cursor, obviously, and making sure everything kind of works the way we need it to. So I guess the most important thing really is figuring out the drag and drop mechanics. So I think that's what we're going to start things off with. So let's go back into Unity. So if we wanted to implement this, I think that, yeah, okay. I'm thinking we might want to have so we want to have two different pieces, I think. So one of them is like the box, and you know, where it can house a specific item, we'll say, and then we can have a system in place, or we can have another thing basically where we can, like, for example, let's take the dirty dish stack. There's going to be lots of different items in that list, and we can maybe expand upon that if, you know, if things get you know, if there's a lot of different pieces, we can maybe have more slots open for more items that need to be washed, or more dishes that need to be washed. So we'll need to have something that can create those boxes that we can kind of drag and drop things into and out of. So I think our first step is to make something so that we have a like the box is sort of functional. So I think we basically want to create an object, but I'm very new to using Unity. I haven't really done too much with it, so it might be a lot of slow progress tonight, but we'll see how far we get. Yeah, so what do we want to do? So the only thing I don't like about this this little thing is that we, you know, when I right click, like I right clicked right now and you can't see any of this menu, which is kind of unfortunate. Okay, so if I right click here, or we could go into this menu up here. Again, you guys can't see that, unfortunately, but we're going to create a 2D object. I think they're just called sprites. Alright. So we will call this item box. I don't know the... Yeah. We'll say item box like that. What is this tagged? I don't think we want to tag. Alright. So we might want sprites to represent this. So maybe... I don't know if we should be working on sprites right away, though. Maybe we should, just so we can have something to visualize it. Just a little bit. We'll do something very simple. So... I think I could use Paint, but I think there's a better program we can use right now to kind of work through that. So I think I have something saved somewhere. Let me just double check real quick. Or, okay, maybe we could just do this instead. So, if we wanted to... Nah, we might as well just work on that. Again, that menu you guys couldn't quite see, which is a little unfortunate. What did the people at My First Game Jam recommend for some options for things you can use? Okay. Okay. Alright, I think I found something pretty good, pretty useful. So... yeah, so I found this website, Hiskel, which is... I found this a while ago, a long time ago, and I guess I forgot about it. But it is useful for making free pixel art that you can, use for different things. So, let me see if this... I think... I don't really want that to get cut off, but I guess that'll work how it is right now. Here we go. Anyways, so, alright, yeah, so let's work on some very basic, you know, something to just get us by right now and before we kind of fix things up. We don't really need it to be, we don't really need to worry about the onion skinner a lot of this. It's just going to be a very basic file. Sure, we'll make it 32 by 32. Alright, so we'll just do something like this. Maybe we'll make it look a little nicer by erasing some of that. Actually, go a little further. Alright, so now, so where are the colors? So let's make this kind of a gray thing, maybe with a little bit of a darker gray for the outline here. You know what? Gray's not really going to stand out very well. Let's go with some yellow. Let's say kind of a lighter yellow in there. We'll just say that for now. Okay, so we will save this as I guess we'll call it item box. Can you not download? Oh wait, hold on. I think I messed something. Yeah, okay. I just pressed the wrong button there. That actually saves the file here, which I should probably still do, actually. Yeah, okay. We'll save that. We'll just make a folder. Okay, so that'll save the actual file. So now let's export it. Actually, let's make it a little bigger. Well, I don't know. We'll just do that 1.0 size. Okay, so that takes care of that quick thing there. So that way we can always go back and edit it later. But for now, we have something visual that we can use, which is good. So let's go to Unity and alright, so I think if we just drag and drop this, okay. Is this gonna do any? Hold on. Is this gonna do anything different if I? Because it's treating it like a. Oh, okay. Hold on. I just want to check something real quick. No, it's still showing it like... Huh. That's a little weird. Okay, so the thing... Oh, you guys can't actually see that. Hold on. So what I was looking at was, and I'll show you in just a sec. Yeah, so you see these little things here. I'm wondering why this pops up. Not really sure, but it didn't seem to really matter when I was exporting a single frame or not, so I guess we can delete this copy. Okay, so I think if we go to item box, we should be able to just drag and drop. Okay. Okay. Doesn't look very good when we zoom in, huh? Maybe it's in a way that we exported it or something. Well, like I said, we just want something for now that we can use to kind of visualize it, and then kind of go from there afterwards. Alright, so what should we I think we need one more sprite. And we're gonna do it real easy. We're gonna go back to here. And we're just going to change the colors a little bit. We'll make it green. Okay. Alright, there we have two states. We will save... We don't really need to save the file. So we will just do... item box 2. That way we can have two different states available. And we'll drag and drop that into Unity. Okay, so we have that going now. We have two different states, one for like on and one for off, I guess. So really, that's the bare minimum we need to make this sort of thing work. So we don't really need to We don't really need to worry about most of this stuff, I don't believe. Okay, so what do we need to worry about? We need to think about how this will work. Alright, so actually, is there... So what are the options we have for UI? Whoop, we don't need to go to the asset store. So what are the options we have for the main camera right now? This is our main camera. So I think if we... So this is what this looks like, kind of maximized. I think if we just... Nope. Alright, never mind. We don't really need this window that big, though. Okay, so Alright, so if we were to add another one of these, we'll say. How big is our X and Y? So if this is 1, that's 1. It's pretty far, actually. Alright, so what kind of components do we need here? I think we need... Oops. So, actually, I think we can get rid of that. Let's, how do we create a prefab? Oh, I think I might have found it. Maybe? What is this grid component here? Okay, I think we need to look a little bit at the manual. So let's get this manual up and running here. So let's take a look at graphics. Let's take a look at the cameras first. Actually, maybe we should be looking specifically at... Well, let's look through this first. I don't think this is going to be... Okay, so this is the perspective and orthographic. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at 2D stuff. Just look at some quick things. Most immediately noticeable feature is the 2D view mode button in the toolbar of the scene view. Yep. Okay. Alright, so don't need to worry about 3D mode. Okay, so graphic objects are known as sprites. Okay, Unity provides a built-in... Oh, there's a sprite editor right in Unity? I didn't know that. Well, dang. Maybe we'll have to use that instead. Alright, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay. Sprites are rendered with the sprite renderer rather than mesh renderer. Okay. Don't really need to worry about the 2D physics for right now. For now. Okay. What is 2D sorting? This, okay. Not sure if I need to know this stuff right now. Maybe later. I guess we don't really need that right now. Maybe we should go over this a little bit more in detail. Sprite Packer. Okay, I think like setting up the stuff is not too bad. Oh. Oh, wait, I know what this is. The mask interaction thing. So, this is how you can say something only be visible if you're kind of hovering, like, I don't know a good way to describe it, but it's when you have, so like let's say I had another box and I could say I would want it to like not be visible unless it's inside the other box, for example. So that would be how you kind of do that, but that doesn't really help us here. Hi, Domino. Coming in to say hi. Alright, time for the cat tax. Hi, Domino. He's just coming in here to relax with me. Okay, so if we're looking at oh. Oh, I see. Interesting. Okay, so if we wanted to make a grid for this, we can do that with this. Interesting. Oh, that is cool. Alright, so this is going to be like a grid for these objects, essentially. This is interesting. Because now I just want things to line up, basically. I'm kind of learning the ropes. Alright, so if we wanted to like what is this? Material property block is used to modify these values. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been messing around with stuff and I didn't realize that this was still up here. This is annoying. So basically what I was doing was I was looking at things like this and kind of messing around with like grids you can make. So actually, how do you... Alright, I shouldn't really worry about this right now. Okay, let's get back to looking at some of this stuff. Alright, so let's look back at some of this stuff. You can sort sprites. That'll be helpful later. What is this? Oh, okay. So that's the sprite renderer that's on the side there. So renders the sprite and controls how it visually appears in a scene. Okay, so these are all the options. So the sprite, that's the image itself. Color is the vertex color. Alright, so you can flip it. Define a material. Draw mode, just define how the sprite scales when its dimensions change. Select one of the following options. Type image scales when its dimension changed. Okay, so what does this actually mean for us? Maybe we shouldn't worry about that right now, because if we... Yeah, I don't think that actually matters for us right now. Sorting layer, we don't have to worry about the mask interaction. Material, mask interaction. Yeah, this was kind of the thing I was mentioning before. Okay. Sprite creator. So you can just create sprites. Interesting. Interesting. Alright, so let's say we want to do this. So let's just do okay. I think we can just edit it in here. Oh, you can apply it. Whoa. What is going on there? Let's change this back a little bit. Okay. And then maybe we can adjust our camera a bit. Alright, so camera. Alright, so we're making a little progress. We're gonna need a lot of these things, but we can adjust things when we need to. Excuse me. Okay. So let's take a look back at the here so we can, well, actually, hold up. We want to make sure that there's nothing else we want to do with this. So the mesh type is just basically the we'll just make it a full rectangle. So basically that's going to be oh, actually it doesn't matter there. So what else do we want to do? Ah, okay. Okay. We'll just... So that's interesting. So the no pointer, or no filter. I think that's what we want here, because we, at least for now, we want it to be a little pixely. think that the rest of that we don't really need to worry about. Okay, so let's go look at the documentation. Because you gotta make sure to read the rule book to know how to play the game, or even make the game. Okay, so let's take a look. We don't need to worry about the sprite creator. Sprite editor. Alright, we'll look at that when we're creating more sprites. So what is this tile map? The tile map component is a system which stores and handles tile assets for creating 2D levels. Okay. So I don't believe we're using any of that here. We're using grid. Yeah, it's definitely something different there. Oh wait. It's grid. Okay. Grid component is a guide which helps to align game objects based on a selected layout. Component transforms grid cell positions to the corresponding local coordinates of the game object. Okay. Yeah, we've been playing around with this. I don't think we really need I don't really think we need this stuff right now. Let's take a look. Scriptable tiles. Again, oh, maybe we can look at well, we don't really need physics, but maybe we can see if there's anything that we can use here. Colliders for physical collisions. Joints? Okay. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be very handy there. Okay, so we're going to need to know how to use the mouse. Capture event. So what are these? Okay. So this event system is a way of sending events to objects in the application based on input. Okay, so basically how we can send events to objects. and then by using the mouse in this case. So once we send an event, like for example, when you click this thing, change the color. So that would be part of the event system. Okay, so that means UI elements listens to events, come from the operating system or scripts. Different event types are organized into a hierarchy. So what are these built-in controls? I know it's a lot of reading right now, but we got to make sure we know how to do this, and you know, it's part of the learning process, so I just focus a little bit easier when I'm trying to do this in silence, basically. Alright, so let's take a look at the event system in a little more detail. Listens to events. Okay, so we have and this is the thing we want, capturing the mouse. Sometimes after a mouse down, an element must capture the mouse position to ensure all subsequent mouse events are sent exclusively to itself when the pointer is no longer hovering over the element. It's typical for a control that reacts to a mouse down and a mouse up sequence where the mouse move might occur between the mouse down and mouse up events. For example, when you click on a button, slider, or a scroll bar. To capture the mouse, call element.captureMouse or mouse capture controller.captureMouse. Okay. Alright, so let's take a look at what we can do with that. Is there anything else in here that could be helpful? So this could be helpful, knowing mouse down event, mouse up event. You can make a visual element react to an event that it receives in two different ways by registering an event callback. Sorry, was just gonna lower the music a little on my end. So by registering event callback, or by implementing a default action. Well, you should register an event. In general, you should prefer implementing the behaviors that are naturally expected from your element with default actions. Okay. This ensures that default element behaviors can be canceled on an instance by instance basis by calling prevent default and a callback attached to that instance. Whenever possible, implement your class default actions and execute default actions. We don't want an event callback, we want a default action. Okay. Okay, so I think, let's read over this. Let's read over this a little bit, and then we'll try doing a little bit of coding with it. So default action applies to all instances of the class. event class implements behaviors that are executed either before or after processing an event. The events class does this by overriding Okay, so I think what we're going to try and do, we're going to just do a little test, essentially. And just do some simple code to see if we can get some mouse actions to work. Let's just read this first, because I think it's important to know the process. So when an event occurs, it is sent along the propagation path in the visual element tree. So that was that. Okay, maybe it was in a different spot. Yeah. So it's sent along the propagation path in the visual element tree, assuming that the event type demands that all phases of the event propagation be followed. The event is sent to each visual element. So execute event callbacks on elements from the root element down to the parent of the event target. This is the trickle down phase. Execute event callbacks on the event target. Call the target. Execute default action at target. Execute event callbacks on elements from the event target parent up the root. So bubbling back up. And then call target execute default action. Okay, so I think we're gonna try working with this. Let's save this though. Not that we made that much progress right now, but can't hurt, right? So let's make a new script. We will call this alright. So we'll have this called mouse handler. Oh, it's already on there. I didn't see that. Okay. So it's opening up Visual Studio. Okay, so let me get a window up through Streamlabs so that you guys can see what I see. Oops. That, oh geez. That's not what I wanted. Well, that was a mess. Let's try that again. Doo-doo-doo. Where are you? That's Unity. There it is. Okay. Let me get this off of my face. Alright, so got ourselves Visual Studio. I guess we don't really need full screen for this. Let's just kind of crunch it down a little bit. And let's see what we need to do for here. So we need to create alright. So what is going on here? That's kind of interesting. What do I need to add into here to make this sort of work? Using Unity, not a Unity editor. Events. So neither of these get used, essentially. maybe we can figure out a little bit more about how this works. This is where we just were. Alright, you know what I think we're gonna do to make things go a little bit smoother? Let's try and see if we can find a tutorial that we can use to kind of follow along here. Unity mouse tutorial. Let's see if we can find anything. So, alright, I'm in the process of converting a project from keyboard only input to keyboard and mouse input. What does this kind of look like? What is this input? That's interesting. Maybe we don't need this? We'll comment that out for now. Okay, so let's comment. I commented this out, and so it looks like what they're doing, I'm going to copy and paste this person's update method. Just to see. What is this input? really need to worry too much about. What is this? Okay, so class Unity engine input interface to the input system. Okay, so I think so really all we need to do then, I guess, is want it to be for specific objects. Let's just see what happens if we just what do I want to say here? Alright, so let's say we do an if statement. What do we have for options? So input dot let me see if I can make this a little easier to read for you guys. Oh, wait. That could help. That might make it a little easier to see. Okay. So input dot okay, so we have actually, I don't know. Alright, well, I think we're getting closer. Oh. Okay, I think I found what I need. It's this mouse position. So mouse position, the current mouse position in pixel coordinates. So basically what we want to do is we want to see if the mouse position on the screen is in the box first off. That's going to be our first step. How do we get this object's coordinates, though? Oh, okay, I think I know what to do. So, what we want is to do something with the transform. Well, that just messed that up. So what is the issue here? Okay, I think we're making some progress here. So basically what we want is to say if the mouse input is at least as far to the right as the leftmost edge of this object, and it's smaller than that plus 1. And then we will do that again for the y's. So the reason why we can do it like this is because we have the top left corner is the origin, we'll say. So we'll just do a little test here. And then we'll say system whoops. Okay. Oh, we can just use the print command. Okay. Okay, so no errors here, which is good. Let's see. I don't even know if this is gonna run actually. So this is gonna be interesting. Whoops, okay. So, if we press the play button, hopefully what we'll get is something that when we hover over with our mouse on top of one of these components or objects, then it will just say, hey, I'm inside of here, basically. See what happens. We'll go to the console. I don't see anything happening. Okay, so that didn't quite work. So let's try something else. Oh, wait a second. I think I know what the issue is. Right? Oh, I think I get it. So what we did was we said, hey, this should do something. But we never said what it would be specifically referencing. Like, I was assuming game object would be referring to the object itself, but I think we have to create a reference to that. So what we'll do is we will say, I think all we have to do might as well do a little something here. Okay, so what we need to do is make a public, what was it? Transform. I think. So maybe that's all we need to do. Okay. Okay. I think this is going to, well, we'll see if it works. Well, it prints. That's something. So why isn't that working? how do we get this to work? Well, alright. Maybe what we'll do for now, only worry about half of it. Maybe I'm just making the box too small. So, the way that it's working now, or the way it should be working now, is that, well, it's only going to look if the mouse position is bigger than this transforms position. So greater than the top left corner, basically. We'll see how that works. Oh gosh. Okay. So that's a lot of input there. Yeah, so that's just going and going and going and going. I wonder what's going on there. It's everywhere. Okay. So mouse position is in pixel coordinates. So maybe we have to do this in terms of pixel coordinates as well. What is local position? So okay, so I think the big problem going on right now is that mouse position right over here is working in pixel coordinates, and for this position .y or .x, it's in world space essentially, which I'm again kind of reading through the mouse over text, which I can't really show right now, but anyways, so there's definitely a problem there. Ooh, excuse me. I'm gonna see if there's a good fix for this. Give me one moment. Okay, well, I found something interesting. I'm just gonna have to figure it out. See, it's kind of related. So let me show you what I found. I found this thing. How to detect click touch events on UI and game objects. So basically there's a lot of different pieces of information here. So we just got to figure out which one to use. Non-UI objects. We don't really want a UI object. So for 2D objects, sprite render or any 2D collider, add physics 2D raycast to the camera, then use any of the events in method 1. Okay. I really want to make sure this thing works before we kind of end things off for the night. I'm getting a little tired. what is this one over here? No, this doesn't really seem like that's helpful. Okay, so I think what we need to do, so all we need is event systems. All right, so okay, I think I understand what to do now. So this whole thing is basically saying, all right, we're gonna add this thing to the camera, and then this is what that does. It only makes sure that it only adds a single one and not anything else. And then after that, we can just implement any of these that we need to. Okay, so let's do that. So all we need to do is copy this. And then we will add this. Which should be fine. And then so let's just copy all this. And then so it's giving me all these errors because it needs to, I don't think we'll need this anymore, but just in case. Yeah. So I just basically did, I added all the methods here that we needed to. And maybe we'll just comment that out and save that. So this should be able to handle all the different mouse events that we need to. Let's clear this log. So we should be able to drag, you know, pointer click, things like that. Mouse enter and exit. Ugh. We'll see how this works. All right. We can do this. Ooh. Let me move something real quick. I didn't notice this before, but oh, it's just oops. Let's just scooch this over here, perhaps. Or maybe just up here. Yeah, I'll just go up here for now. So what I was noticing here, if we kind of... So I started that up, and this little event system in the corner here, that wasn't there before. So at least it's registering an event system. Oh, and it, okay, so oh wait, I think they said it needed a collider or something. Okay, I think we're making progress. Well, let's go to the thing that says, hey, my code's not working, how do I fix it? Okay, so I did add this event system thing, which should... that should be the little thing that popped up there, I believe. What else? UI component or game object with UI component. No. Let's take a look at this code again. What if I just said, so debug.log, we'll say print for each of these. So let's see if this makes any sort of difference. Okay, that didn't quite work out for that part anyways. So let's see what else we can do to try and fix it. Alright, is it adding the right thing there? So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of a test to see what we can, let's see if we can rule out anything, basically. So what we're going to try is See if it's actually adding this correctly. Alright. So maybe we'll have that. Okay, so that's what this is gonna do. Is this is gonna put a little thing in there if we did it correctly, basically. So that's, we're just gonna test that one thing. Okay, so it did add it. So it's not that as an issue. What else could it be? I guess I can move this back down now, actually. Okay, so it added it. So it's there. This is talking about intercepted events. Okay. Alrighty. I'd really like to at least get this part tested out before ending things off. So it is attached to the camera. We're looking at 2D objects specifically. We have an event system. The UI component or game object with the UI component. Must be under a canvas. Okay, so maybe we can try looking at a canvas thing. let's take a look at this again. Excuse me. We'll just change these back for consistency. We really just want to try and figure out what's not causing, I guess that's the wrong words to use. What is making it so that it's not registering? It's only adding a single raycaster, which is good. So really we just want something with the canvas, right? Pretty sure. So I added this canvas. Oops. What does it say to do here? Okay. So this needs to be a child of canvas. Let's see if this does anything. Let's just save that first. All right, let's take a look. So what if we move this over there? Okay. How can we fix this? Oh. Hold up. I just kind of realized something. So, if I had read, like, the next sentence, there's something very important that pops up here. So I was looking at the thing for the canvas, which is that. Literally the next sentence only applies to UI objects. It doesn't apply to 2D sprite renderer or any 2D collider or 3D objects. So we don't have to worry about canvas, which is good. Guess it doesn't really matter where we put this. So what is it that we're missing? Okay, well, it doesn't have to do anything with the canvas. Does changing the z-axis have anything to do with it? Wow, it's just gone. anything to do with it. Alright, let's see. Let's just do one more test. Okay, so let's save this again. So I was looking back at one of the other tabs I had open, and this little thing says that perhaps we need a collider for this to work properly. So let's add that. We'll go with Box Collider 2D. Oh, okay. So if I was to do 2 by 2, that'd be that big. But we really just want 1 by 1, which would be a perfect fit. Let's just see if this, as it is, does anything. Aha! Look at that. All right, that is great. Nice. Okay. So it's giving out the logs that I was hoping it would give. That okay, awesome. That's great. Because I'm getting tired and I really wanted to at least get some of the debugging stuff with that straightened out. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. But I think at this point it's probably best to kind of wrap things up a bit. So really, oh, actually, before we do, is there anything we need to do? So I think that should be good. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get rid of that and duplicate this. So I'll just put that down there. Yeah, okay, so now we'll have 4 different things. Let's see what happens. Alright. Cool. So even if I'm doing this dragging, you can still see like mouse. Well, maybe you can't see because the text is really small, but it's saying like mouse enter and mouse exit for this other object. So, and it's not doing anything in these other spots, so I think. All right, yeah, I think that's good. That's really good. So, we will do one more thing, I guess, before we end that. So, let's... Whoops. We don't really need this code here anymore. Okay. And we don't need that either because we, well, oh, okay, so that's good. I just want to test another thing. So after this is, oh, I didn't realize I was still playing actually. Oops. So we'll save that. Okay, so if I hold down the mouse button and go across, it doesn't count as dragging it. Okay, I think that's good. So, learning a lot, a little bit at a time. I'll save that. All right, I think we have a good idea of what we should do for next time. So, next time we'll be continuing with this sort of thing, and maybe we'll try and figure out how to drag and drop things from one box to another, because that's, like I said, that's the main part of the game, so we want to make sure we can do that. Yeah, so that's going to be our goal for next time. I should be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to try and do this as often as I can. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to actually figure out how Unity handles mouse input. I took quite a bit of time, but we, now that we have that sort of straightened out, we can kind of go forward with that knowledge and make future components of this game a little bit easier to work with. So yeah, that's going to be it for tonight's stream. Thank you guys for coming by and watching me read text for a lot of that. But yeah, hopefully you learned a little bit something, and hopefully we can make more progress next time. So yeah, have a nice evening, and I will hopefully see you tomorrow. Take care.